This team has felt like a tale of two teams at times. Both teams that feel like they're hitting their stride. Rams are getting healthy at the right time. They're seemingly figuring out the right O-line combination, but this Eagles defense is coming hot. And Vic Fangio, I remember covering him when he was the defensive coordinator for the Niners. And it's going to be a very fun matchup. I love that it's prime time.
Prime time on 97.3 ESPN. The Eagles and the L.A. Rams. Who will have more fans at SoFi, Eagles or Rams? That was the voice of Erin Coscarelli, the host of Believe in the Rams on the Believe Network. And she joins us now for today's Outside View. The L.A. Rams, 5-5. This is a team, Erin. By the way, first off, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. This is going to be fun, this matchup on Sunday night.
You said it right there. Glad it's in prime time. I thought the Rams were a playoff team. When we do at the beginning of our season, our little picks, I had the Rams as a wild card team. Here they are, 5-5. Kind of give us a little expository of how we got to 5-5.
It's felt like a roller coaster. I will say that. I think covering the Rams, we're here in LA. I've needed to meditate, eat some avocado toast, and really just sink into the present. Because, I think, this team is 5-5, which is really interesting. All three teams in the division in the NFC West are 5-5, except for the Cardinals, which I don't know if anyone saw that one coming. But I think we all wondered what this team was going to look like. No Aaron Donald, a brand new DC, and Chris Shula, I think, figuring out the identity of what this defense was going to look like. It's a younger defense. And what's really interesting for me too, Mike, is since the bye for both of these teams, there's been a resurgence. And obviously the big storyline, I think, coming out of LA is who is this team and what do they actually look like? Because now that they're healthy, we saw them come off a big Patriots win. They had to go all the way to the East Coast. They came out. It was kind of almost a game we thought it was like a must win. They needed to win. And they didn't finish, in my opinion. I mean, they won by 4 points. I think that we're still sort of seeing if this team is the real deal. But I think a lot of people thought that they'd be a wild card, a playoff team off of what we saw last year.
Well, they're 4-1 in their last 5 games. They were 1-4 before that. So here we are, 5-5. Eagles coming to town. In that bite, we heard you say Vic Fangio covered him in San Francisco. When you look at the Eagles, though, do you think defense or do you think A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts? What is this Eagles team to the Rams?
It's giving me a lot of indigestion. I know I'm talking about
with
food.
All the avocado?
I'm talking about a lot of food this morning here in LA. That's the thing that's really scary is you have a lights out defense that Sean McVay must respect. You have running backs that do reverse hurdles over adult men. And Jalen Hurts is finding his stride and holding onto the ball and taking care of the football. I think the Rams, this is a very important game for the Rams. And like I mentioned with the NFC West, this has major playoff implications. And when the Rams had their last home game, they fumbled big time. I was at that Monday Night Football game against the Dolphins, and I think we were all in disbelief. The leading scorer, the only scorer for the Rams was their kicker, Josh Carty. So I think, they've figured out, hopefully, a better game plan with the Eagles coming to town. But it's scary. When I think of the Eagles, I actually think of their defense. The number one defense in the league. This is the most important and the biggest test for the Rams come Sunday night to hopefully keep their playoff hopes alive.
It's our outside view today looking at the Rams. Erin Coscarelli is the host of Believe in the Rams. And, of course, you can hear that on the Believe Network. You got the Rams, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. You mentioned the injury problems they have had. I'm really intrigued by that matchup. You got Quinyon Mitchell, the rookie, who has been outstanding. Darius Slay, Cooper DeJean against those guys in the past game. Last week, the Eagles stymied the rookie in Jaden Daniels, but you got 36-year-old Matthew Stafford. He has seen all the tricks. So do the Rams try to throw the ball against the Eagles' Vic Fangio defense, who doesn't blitz all that much, or is Kyron Williams the guy they lean on this week?
I think they're going to try to lean on Kyron. I think they're going to try to slow down the game a little bit, give the Rams defense some breathing room. But, you know, what's interesting is, like I was mentioning, it's been a tale of two teams for the Rams. Before their bye, like they were 1-4, and now they've won 4 of their last 5. I think, in my opinion, it started in the trenches for the Rams. They've had a lot of different offensive line issues. Some guys were injured. So the big thing to look at, right, offensively, is what happened week 10, where Stafford was sacked 4 times against the Dolphins. He looked uncomfortable. He had 0 time. And then week 11 against the Patriots, they made a change under center. Sean McVay decided to bench Jonah Jackson, and he put the rookie Bo Limmer back under center. Stafford, 4 touchdowns, wasn't touched. The game, I mean, over 400 yards of offense. I'm curious to see. The matchups here are amazing because, like you said, you guys and Vic Fangio, he is so dialed in. I covered him back in 2013 when I was with the Niners, and he's got that team locked in. So when I think of the defense, when I think of the Eagles, I think of the defense, and there's going to be some really fun matchups, but they're going to try to, in my opinion, control the tempo of the game and hopefully give Kyron the ball. He hasn't had a lot of success lately, but I think that's what we're going to hopefully see come Sunday night.
All right, we talked about the Eagles' offense. They have big names, but it hasn't, for whatever reason. They got Barkley, #1 rush team, 22nd in the league in passing. Tell us a little bit about the Rams' defense and the matchups there. You got Brown, you've got obviously Devontae Smith, you've got Goddard. Those 3 pieces. Saquon Barkley has been a beast in this offense. He's on pace for almost 2,300 total yards and 17 touchdowns. What worries you more?
Well, I think the Rams actually do very well against the run. The biggest strength to me on this team is actually the defensive line. You know, they've got the first to second year talent, guys like Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. You know, I think Verse is a potential candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Where Rams struggle is guarding the running backs who like to catch the ball. And Saquon got involved last week and hurt the Commanders. So I personally think Rams secondary is the weakest. They do not have a talent like a Jalen Ramsey. They don't have a lot of depth. I think if there is a weak point, it is our secondary, and I think we're going to probably see more try to exploit that.
That would be that's an interesting one. The weakness in the secondary against this team. When you outside looking in, what do you think of Jalen Hurts? When you're saying the Eagles and they have Jalen Hurts, does that worry you? Does that say
for sure? Yeah, he's unpredictable.
He's got mixed. He's a polarizing guy.
Yeah, he's unconventional. He is polarizing. I think he's perfect for the Eagles. I think he's scary. He's unpredictable. He's very athletic. You know, obviously Stafford can scare you with what he can do with his arm, but what Jalen Hurts brings to this offense is such a dynamic, scary. You've got Saquon there. You've got Brown. To me, I don't see any flaw with this Eagles offense. And I think, like with the Rams, Jalen is finding his stride right now, certainly since the bye. So I particularly find Jalen Hurts, like, he's only getting better, in my opinion. The Rams have to respect that. But they like to pressure. So they're going to pressure Jalen Hurts. How he handles that, we'll see, I guess.
Big game for the Rams. They have a 15% chance to make the playoffs. That goes up to 23 with a win. It falls down to 10% with a loss. I want to ask you, Erin, could be more Eagles fans in the house or Rams fans? The Eagles fill that building no matter what. It always seems that they go out there and fill the L.A. buildings. They did it against the Chargers a couple of years ago. They've done it against the Rams. They did it in the Rams, the previous home. Will SoFi be more Eagle green or blue and yellow?
Let me tell you something, Mike. It's fun to come to LA, especially in November. I don't know how cold it is where you're at right now, but it's a balmy.
Nice, by the way, it has been a mild fall, winter, whatever. We haven't hit winter yet, but it's been mild here.
It's normally much colder. It's the weather here in LA. People are going to want to come. I know it's never easy for a team to travel across country, but those Eagle fans, they show up. They are devoted. They love their football team. And by the way, it's going to be a good game. I mean, I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I'm going to go with, and by the way, I think the Eagles in the last 5 games have scored at least 26 points. I'm going to say 28, 26. Eagles stay within that 26-point range, but this one's going to the Rams. 28, 26.
Rams. All right, we'll see. You just said 15% chance to make the playoffs. They need this game.
They need it.
More than although the Eagles need this game if they want to stay and play for that number 1 seed. They're a game behind Detroit. Of course, you can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Sunday, the pregame coverage starts at 7. The kickoff at 8:20 with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick. You can listen to more on the Rams. Believe in Rams. Erin Coscarelli is the host, and she has been our outside view today on the Sports Bash. Thank you so much, Erin.
Mike, thank you for having me.